Top of the morning to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jordan from the Kingdom, back for another narrated version of the Kingdom. Today we're talking about Aaron Cockerill and his journey from 168 to number one in strokes gained putting on the DP World Tour. AC talks about the technique itself, the aim point express, how to do it, and when to do it. So without further ado, I'll let AC take it from here.
She would always give me wind. We would always confirm that. She'd always have the compass in the book. And then we actually learned aim point express together this year. So she would feel the putts with her feet. So I like to chirp her and say she didn't really do much, but she was actually pretty helpful. So always wind, but I'm always choosing my own club and shot shape. But on the greens, if I was uncertain, she'd come in and give me okay, this is a 2. So she was pretty good with the percent of the slope, and then I'm doing the aim point express, right?
Nice.
So it was just confirmation on putting, basically.
Maybe, Aaron, just quickly, because I'm not overly familiar with that myself. So for anybody who's listening, probably not the same. Just maybe walk through what the aim point express is and what it's used for.
I learned it this year too. So I'm still kind of new to it, but the general, gist of it is if you have a putt, you're going to take say on a 20-foot putt, you're probably going to take 2 measurements of where the line of your ball would be. So halfway and then maybe 2/3 of the way. And you literally just feel it with your feet, and you kind of train yourself and you figure it out that this is okay. This is a 1.5, this is a 2. And then you base your arm depth off the stimp of the greens. So if it's really fast, your hand's in closer. Mm-hmm. And if the greens are slower, your hands are a little out further, and you just have to calibrate that before the round.
So what do you do with your hand though? What are you looking at there?
So I guess you can't see when you're listening, but basically if it's a 2, I'm going to use 2 fingers.
Oh.
And this one goes in the center of the hole. And then wherever this one goes is basically where I'm going to start the putt.
Oh,
wow. And that's everyone reads putts differently. And how you would see it, some people would pick a high point and get it to there and then let it fall. But the way I saw putts was, okay, I'm going to just aim a ball outside the right or the left edge. And that's kind of when you do an aim point, that's kind of, okay, I'm going to aim it, a cup out.
Right.
Oh. So it does sound kind of complicated, but basically once you get it down with your feet, it's pretty quick. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And
so when you're looking out like that, you mean two away from the hole, right? Not where you're starting it. That's kind of where you're aiming in relation to the hole, 2 fingers left of the hole, say?
Yeah. So if I have a 15-footer left to right, I feel it's a 2% slope is the highest amount of slope on that putt. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to use 2 fingers. And if the greens are 12, I'm going to have it a little closer. And then, So you basically just go this on the center of the hole. And then this will, when you take it away, this is okay, this is 2 cups out left.
So that would mostly work for putts that aren't breaking huge amounts.
Yeah, if I have a 4 or 5% slope, I'm not going to be doing this.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
Some
that
guys
makes
might.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chelsea comes in with her hands too.
I think you got to have some feel at that point, but I think it's pretty good on. I really like it a lot on a 1 to 3% slope on a makeable putt, 10 to 25 feet. When I get really in close, I don't really do it. It's kind of on those mid-range birdie putts.
And you said that's new this year?
Yeah, I started doing that this year.
And so far, better success?
Yeah, I mean, my putting stats were above average or better than the last year, so I think it worked out okay this year.
Nice.
I'll continue with it on next year.